Welcome back to Capital Catch-Up, your inside look at the gears of government. I'm Victor.
And I'm Lenny. It is a busy week in Washington. We are looking at the legislative calendar for early February 2026, and the 119th Congress is moving fast on everything from the cost of higher education to the future of space travel.
That's right. We've combed through the congressional record from February 2nd through the 5th, along with a stack of committee schedules. Lenny, I want to start with something that hits the wallet of almost every American family: education.
Absolutely. We saw a flurry of bills introduced regarding tuition transparency, specifically House Resolution 3153, the Understanding the True Cost of College Act of 2025, and House Resolution 6502, the College Financial Aid Clarity Act.
These titles sound promising, but let's unpack them. For decades, really since the Higher Education Act of 1965, the government has tried to make college accessible, but complexity has been a barrier. These bills seem designed to standardize how financial aid offers are presented.
Exactly. It's about comparing apples to apples. If you're a parent looking at 3 different award letters, they often use different terminology for loans versus grants. House Resolution 6502 aims to fix that. And building on that theme of education, we have to talk about House Resolution 6002, the Veterans Earned Education Act.
This is crucial. The Veterans Affairs Committee held a massive legislative hearing on January 21st covering this and several other bills, including the Warriors to Workforce Act. It seems the focus this session is squarely on the transition from active duty to civilian employment.
Which brings us to a darker but necessary topic the legislature is tackling: suicide prevention among veterans. They discuss the Daniel J. Harvey Jr. and Adam Lambert Improving Service Member Transition to Reduce Veteran Suicide Act. It's a heavy topic, but seeing these specific, targeted bills moving through committee shows a bipartisan recognition that the current transition programs aren't catching everyone.
Pivoting to the economy and housing, there's a fascinating clash of philosophies in the bill list. On one hand, you have House Resolution 1198, the Let's Get to Work Act of 2025, which usually implies tightening work requirements for social safety nets.
Right, but then you have House Resolution 6951, the Stop Unfair Medicaid Recoveries Act. Victor, can you explain what Medicaid recovery is for our listeners? It's a procedure not everyone knows about.
Sure, it's a complex and frankly controversial mechanism. Under current law, after a Medicaid beneficiary over age 55 passes away, states are often federally required to seek repayment for long-term care costs from the individual's estate. This often forces families to sell their parents' homes, preventing the transfer of generational wealth, particularly in lower-income communities. House Resolution 6951 looks to curb that practice.
That is a massive shift in policy if it passes. Speaking of shifts, let's look at technology. We are seeing a modernized approach to policing with House Resolution 4242 and Senate Bill 3514, both focused on less-than-lethal technology.
This builds on years of debate regarding police reform. The idea is to incentivize the development and use of tools that de-escalate situations without fatal force. It's interesting to see tax modernization tied into this with HR 4242, using the tax code to drive social innovation.
And looking even further ahead, literally upwards, we have the Launch Act and the Smart Space Act of 2026.
The commercialization of space is no longer sci-fi. Congress is trying to set the rules of the road before traffic gets too heavy up there. But Lenny, while we look at the stars, we have to look at the threats here on the ground. Did you catch that committee hearing on embedded threats?
I did. The Transportation Committee hearing on January 21st, Foreign Ownership, Hidden Hardware, and Licensing Failures in America's Transportation Systems.
That gives me chills. We're talking about foreign adversaries potentially having kill switches or backdoors in our subway systems or port cranes.
It pairs with another hearing from the Judiciary Committee regarding undersea cable protection. We often forget that the cloud is actually just cables running under the ocean. If those are cut, the global economy halts.
Now, I want to take a second to explain a term our listeners might see in the show notes: markup. We saw a full committee markup scheduled for February 4th regarding the Natural Resources Committee.
Good point. A markup is the step in committee where members actually debate, amend, and rewrite a bill before sending it to the floor. It's where the real sausage is made. If you see a bill in a legislative hearing, they are just talking about it. If it's in markup, they are getting ready to vote on it.
And this natural resources markup was packed. They're looking at everything from the Local Communities and Bird Habitat Stewardship Act to the Protecting Local Zoos Act.
It sounds niche, but environmental stewardship is local politics at its core. Also, on the foreign stage, there was a critical hearing listed: Syria at a Crossroads, U.S. Policy Challenges Post-Assad.
That title alone suggests a major geopolitical development in this 2026 timeline, referencing a post-Assad era. The Foreign Affairs Committee is trying to figure out what fills that power vacuum.
Finally, we need to touch on the Senate's advice and consent role. We have a slate of nominations. Daniel J. Burrows has been nominated for Assistant Attorney General twice, once to replace Aaron Reitz.
And several U.S. attorneys and district judges, like Thomas Govan Jr. for Alabama and Brian Charles Lee for Tennessee. These lifetime appointments reshape the judiciary for decades, long after the 119th Congress is gone.
So what should listeners watch for in the coming days?
Watch the True Cost of College Act. With the school year approaching in the fall, there will be pressure to pass that.
And keep an eye on those less lethal technology bills. As we approach election season, public safety reform is going to be a hot-button issue.
We'll keep reading the records so you don't have to. For Capital Catch-Up, I'm Victor.
And I'm Lenny. Thanks for listening.